Be a bit of a head scratcher for sure. I mean, currently
definitely has some weaknesses, but
coming out from NongShim.
Could be kind of good.
Yeah, and I mean, this was the
Talon
map
on
that
attack,
they, played against each
NongShim
other
on
before,
defense.
NongShim got eliminated in kickoff. Right?
Eliminated by Talon.
Yeah, so it was the opening map. It went NongShim's
There's probably
way.
safer pathings on this map more than others. I guess
right?
for
Number
the
one, Ivy on the ISO,
waylay.
Primi on the waylay, some trickling of lore.
I like this from Talon, early abusive over towards B. Again, this is going to be open majority of the time because they only have one smoke.
How effective this ISO is going to be, at least for now. Primi trying to toy with the utility.
Okay, well, this looks really weird.
The B side.
They got in kind of safe over towards the corner here.
Meanwhile,
And then the spike was going to go.
Find some taps through. Does take down Ivy's shield, but Ivy continuing to hold the angle. Finds a double.
Oh, vulnerable going in as well. Remember, the
damn, dude. Vulnerable into stun, but they actually managed to come out on top,
I would
Talon.
expect things to settle down just a bit.
Just reset. Talon trying to find more opportunities and space somewhere else. Still needing to be careful, though, in case NongShim might have pushed up. But still holding around Baby Door.
If they do decide to go to the C site, Margaret does have a trap wire, so they'd have to pivot all the way around towards the pillar side if the camera doesn't spot anything out.
If you're going to B, though, then you got to watch out for a link where Margaret is still lying in wait. Find the first tap. Instant dink as well. That is a lot of damage.
And now you play the 2 versus 1.
30 seconds left.
So in with the spike plant, you've got some utility.
Okay, so I do like this from NongShim though.
Need to play and time
They
this
saw the
carefully.
Cypher here,
Well, so
then the Fade.
a little bit more as he
Makes
fans
pressure from
himself
here.
out, but
This is
not
cool.
able to find the flick back
So,
towards the top.
they know the Cypher's
Fortunately,
here,
it's
got the
gonna be
kill.
Margaret who Goomba
Then
stomps on him
instant
instead,
decision
and
to
that's
go
NongShim
wrap
picking up
around.
pistol.
Yep,
And
3
then
out of 3
Fade uses
pistols
util,
here,
so he thinks they're both
you
here.
see themselves, kind of
Didn't
finding a
really
couple of
work out in
good
terms of the
ones that they
surprise,
want
but
to
the idea's still
see.
great. Hit a nice shot as well.
Before today, they were currently 50%
It's 3-0 on
the
pistols.
pistols, I believe. So if they've managed to find all 3, that just furthers that scoreline vertically, which you do like to see.
What is that one?
Certainly for sure. Just meeting again.
Dude, it's
Talon,
crazy,
of
right,
course.
Bacon?
Right before this, you know, that's where it's the first.
I listened to the. That's what I thought. I listened to the first 5 minutes of that podcast, or not the first 5 minutes, the Talon RRQ game, and I came out with like 50
Tail end of the
questions.
first map. Of course, we did see it on this very map, right? How RRQ were happy to let him in, let him play post, and let him kind of crumble in the post.
Now though, maybe trying to
On
pull
Spike
some different
Talk?
looks,
Yeah, yeah.
Talon, especially with the waylay.
If you go to Spike Talk and look at the Talon RRQ game,
And if Primi can't make
I
Waylay
don't know,
work,
Bacon. I don't know. I find it wild as well.
Oh, this is a little bit of a tough spot. To
Yeah,
be
if
in
you
as
go
well.
to
gotta
Spike
use the
Talk,
drone, possibly
Talon
clear
RRQ,
out
just listen to like the first 2 minutes,
corners in towards
and honestly, you'll
B.
just
yeah,
you'll
you're
be
just
so
kinda waiting to see
confused.
what Talon are going to do here. Nobody of NongShim's going to go too far forward from the B side into pillars and give them a duel, so they're going to have to recognize the trap wire here.
Or at least as a coach, I'm like
Well, isn't it?
incredibly
You've got
confused.
these long-range weapons, and they're maintaining their range as well, sending some utility into the site. Still, though, Talon happy to stay grouped up together, but that's where Margaret will come in to spray
Confused
and
in what
spray everyone
aspect?
down.
And it's
How
okay
the
that
team
Francis
works.
loses his life, getting a little bit ambitious there with the ghost, because it was just a ghost, right? They take the remainder of the weapons over to this new round. You also deny the spike plant from going down, so no extra ulti orb at the end there, no extra monies.
No extra anything, no extra win.
No extra nothing. No. So the gun round for them this time, they won't be trying their little shenanigans on forcing up upon forcing up and then dropping the next gun round. This will be a proper bonus round.
Okay. Let's see the bonus against the big
buys out
Byron.
for Talon as well, though. Cruz one away from the Armageddon.
Big rubble contest. Technically, you would argue going the way of Talon right here, with the utility providing them the forward space to stretch out in towards tree.
Yeah, dude, I don't know, Bacon. I don't think so. I think he knew the comp before, but
He's trying to get himself out of danger, but still Primi quick on the draw. The rest of NongShim, though, already up towards heaven. Primi, especially as the
slow
waylay.
wall.
Oh,
Primi
he stands
takes
in
the.
danger right
Ooh, it's
now.
nice
Able
though.
to get the third kill
Very,
as well.
very nice.
What was that tap?
Yeah, kind of just used the wall against them.
Margaret and Persia left.
A great shot.
Will smoke off tree to try to re-aggress. They've already picked up and upgraded some weapons, but this is where Talon get to erase all the mistakes from the previous map. You've got the composition for this post plant.
I mean, you've got Salvos.
It's about damage now from NongShim.
Should be unwinnable for NongShim.
Oh, shot.
The smoke. Thigh
Ooh,
comes in
shots.
for the peak.
There were some great
He
shots in
will
this round
find
from
the tunnel
Talon.
to collect.
Yeah, nicely done.
Only
Just
one
Premi, the only
death as well, so the
casualty, and
money's
his
kind of
job
not
was
too
already
bad.
kind of done, right? Finding the space and building the pressure around Rubble, going forward in towards the site where he gets a quick shot on towards Francis, and then somehow is able to just spray transfer onto the third kill onto Danby. See that one back in the replay there as well. Quite unfortunate if you are a NongShim fan, but if you are a Talon fan, brilliant. They got the bonus round, the round that they should be winning.
Yesterday's American matches, they had League of Legends going on at the same time.
Nonetheless, we're going back in for another Rubble contest. This time hit with the
A really good stun on this one.
forward.
Premi has to get out of there. Do they
back,
insta-react
though, and
somewhere
that's
else?
when
Looks
he
like they want to
regrets
go over
into
towards
B-side.
B. There's a
Now,
kill
again,
trip.
he's
There's
taking
two
a
people
look
here.
to
The
potentially
tether
quick
into
here.
the
You've got the ults
tether
going
into
on
the
in as well.
ice
Still got
wall.
that trapwire at the front of sight, so you do shut it down.
Oh
Maybe
my
though.
goodness, that's a
Off
fast
the
double
go
dink.
contract will fall, and that's now Talon looking for other options. Mid-round calls into the C site all of a sudden. Margaret only here to receive. He does have Francis nearby though, and that's where they find a single frag. Takes down Cruz. If you're Talon now, feeling the pressure, how do you regroup? How do you recollect? They're still trying to break their way into
How is
the
he winning
site, but it
all
feels a
three
little
of
bit
those aim
disjointed.
duels?
Down to Thigh, trying to collect on some couple of frags, but they are down to so low HP.
Oh,
Jit
big
Boys
reveal.
up towards Mound, and yet big reveal.
They
2-on-2 though.
They should know that it's Mound and backside too.
Still within lethal range. Talon could find a chance
Dude,
to strike.
it's a crazy round from him.
Francis in for the
It really is. I think he wins 3 50-50 straight
draws.
draws.
We will find the ace.
Yep, that's great from him as well. Really patient for the first 3 kills, holding it down from the site. And then at the end there in the 2 versus 2, right, a brilliant horde. Very
Okay, this-
self-sufficient for
okay,
him.
this
and
one's
just
not
dancing
even.
around
This,
the site, assisting his
even.
team. Definitely want to see moments of brilliance coming up.
Oh, that's a
right?
late no swing on that.
Just in total control, especially up by Waterfall, holding
Yeah,
that angle.
I mean,
No
did good to
one was
isolate all
able
of the
to
jaws there.
make their
I
way
don't know if
past
Ty was like
Francis.
incredibly
This time
low
maybe we'll see
HP and that's
some
why he didn't want to
boys
swing
back up
this,
Talon,
but
back up Premi
think he's
in
just
the
gonna
play
send
for the
it.
Rubble control as he refracts on out. Well, we can't really see the same Thigh.
Oh, yeah,
this is the problem with the
unfortunately will
Waylay at the moment.
Yeah,
Every
he's
single
left him-
time I've watched what
He's
they're
left his boy
doing,
there, and now
So
they've
it
got
feels
no
like
smokes.
You
Waylay
trade a
goes in,
player for some
TP's out,
utility out from
and then
the
someone
other
else is
side.
just in more trouble.
Is that worth
Right, we saw it on the pistol with
now,
Cruz
we
having the
want
spike.
the
We see it
intent
here with the
play.
Because no one
Omen.
else from Talon got out to be able to help, right? It's the stalling of the utility. If you want to
Like, it's
reclaim
like they get the
space, I
info,
mean,
and the
ultimate
info
certainly
is,
gonna
well,
help
there's a
you,
lot of
but
people here,
Persian
and I don't want to be
dodges
here.
everything
Oh,
Oh,
my god,
dear
and that's where he
God.
sprays at the right time. Bit of a spray transfer is now down.
Yeah,
He
capitalizing
chimes
off the
in for
fade ult as
double
well,
to
just shutting
finish
it down.
things off.
Oh, they
Big
got a
numbers
timeout.
there from
They got a
NongShim around
timeout,
the
no
A
doubt.
side as well. Getting the first kill. It doesn't matter that the saturate collects because Danby's just there, right? He's already ready to fight, and he's absolutely okay with having the fights thrown his way. Really, really good repositioning from Persia, I must admit. You know, the drone that starts to come on out, it'll find his position, but there's no, you know, quick communications that you can get for that really quick shot. You know, we're not reading minds here to get Persia out there and maybe bring some stability back towards Talon.
Just had no idea that he might be in that spot.
Yeah,
You know,
and
they
they
were
go for that,
anticipating him to be, you know, on the further
they go
end,
for that
but
full
now as the next
eco
round
thing.
plays up,
So
it's Talon with full
money's
pistols,
about to get
just
real good for
classics.
NongShim.
Trying
Double
to pick
kill
up on
trips.
offenses at the very least.
One at the top as
Double
well for the
trap wires on
TP
side
or
as
the
well.
Waylay.
You know, you'll usually see Shrouded steps on the top of the boxes where that one you would hope to find, or if your Waylay is dashing in, that's where you would trap him as well. So some good kill trips to come through from Margaret here. If anyone's watching and you're playing against Waylays in your ranked, for example, if you're a Cypher, there's some trips for you.
Something to take note of, but at the same time right now, at the very least, Francis with the Prowler back, it does send Talon off across the map, possibly into the B site now. Camera just to check. But Ivy's in position, so is Danby.
It's just
So
the
is
pistols, though,
everyone.
remember? Unless you're investing a
3-person
lot of
stack
this
here.
utility to try and push NongShim back.
Double damage is
Trying
nuts.
to at least
Okay.
possibly get the
Ooh,
spike
this was
down.
kind of
The
nice though.
refract will
With
help
more
out the
committed
rest of the team,
behind,
though,
ended up
and
being a
allows for Cruz to
distraction.
find a
Speaking
couple
of distractions,
attacks.
he wants to go
Still
for his
though,
shield.
within close
They're
range,
about to
Cruz
win with full
continuing forward,
classics.
Goes in for the right click, pulls out the stun, and that's Premi now finding some kills. Picks up onto the Vandal, and you've got the spike. It's a 1-on-2.
Full classics to get the job done, maybe here for Talon. They hear the rotating door. Persia does have smoke and dark cover. The ladder used already.
With the Shrouded Step, and now back into stairs. Surely Talon expects this, but they will hold out from spawn.
Yeah, as soon as
with
he
a high-low.
taps
Yeah,
this.
smoke though.
That allows Jet Boys to reposition. Really quick call from them, but is it all bait for Persia?
Information is key. Just trying not to reveal too much. Reposition, shrouded step though.
He thought they might be inside the smoke.
Well read by Primi.
Yeah, not able to.
Damn, crazy round. This one, the Waylay really paid off though. The Waylay distraction, maybe because there were numbers behind it.
That was an incredible round. You know,
ends up drawing the crosshair, gets them the fast kill.
Probably shouldn't have happened, to be honest with you. It's full classics
And then
getting towards the site where the classics
Ivy messes up because he's so focused on getting his shield back instead of shooting the person in front of him. His instant decision making was rough.
Talon are not aiming to get the spike down at the B site when they rush in.
Oh, when you do the full classics and you win this, it really pays off.
With the
2 guns saved, 2 upgrades.
If you're NongShim, you're just kind of reacting with the things being thrown at you. So with a refract at play, all of a sudden, you got to watch out for the rest. But now, Talon looking to hang back, anticipating peaks.
Man, I've never seen a team. There was one team that accidentally hit their Fade Eye like down here. Wonder if you could replicate that and get
But it
the
is good
tether
damage,
here.
right? That off-puts Killua from potentially going for an early duel again here.
Would be so
Play more
strong.
on the
I just
setup
think it's probably too hard.
spot.
The timing must
on the
be
dark
like
cover as well is going to halt the proceedings over at this
impossible.
seaside. Remember, those
Near
kill trips are
impossible.
still going to be here for Margaret. This dark cover, when you see that played on top of the smoke, you would on top of the site, you generally expect shrouded steps to come in. We've been seeing that a lot from teams lately. So heads up play from Margaret to at least anticipate that from the beginning there.
Still, though, with that space being relegated, it also allows for Killua to pick up the Altor, who now has a Rolling Thunder. So looking to reaggress, possibly with fault line in towards A.
The Prowler, though, the fact that it gets someone so close to the pillars and you see the cage, you're not incentivized to expect it to be the full play.
Yeah, still now, time ticking. Persia will be able to eliminate Thai as he tries to launch an assault. We're back in towards the C site where Margaret is lying in wait. You still have those kill trips.
Oh, gone over it.
Fully by Primi. That allows her Jit Boys now to relay back into the
slow-mo Neon
Thunder and everything else.
See the breach got him out of the ult.
Jit Boys, Primi finding frags for
Crazy.
themselves.
There's a lot of low HPs here.
A
lot of low HPs.
Himself back in. Still though, will certainly give it a go, but Jit Boys shuts it down.
Oh, a couple of bits of
Dude,
timing there for Talon to get on in.
So much util to
well,
back his side here.
NongShim,
It really paid off though. They realized the fast blood was coming in.
From Cruz, which puts
Had the Omen ult,
when you
had
also
the pop of the
consider that
Neon
Saturate
ult.
did catch Dambi there. But the fact that Margaret's kill trips don't work out the way you would hope as well really makes things a little bit difficult for him to re-navigate around the site and try to find some value as the Sentinel.
Certainly is tricky given how that light speed works. But still, so far we're seeing great ways for Primi to
Okay, it's a nice
use
little
this Waylay.
A take though.
For NongShim to peek outside of C Mound, up around this dark cover.
No way he got
Triple
none here.
peeks into the slide.
He did see the foot early, but
that's a weapon picked up.
But they get the idea that Francis is playing
yeah,
front
and
B
they get
by
the
seeing
gun,
that
get out of
Prowler.
there. If Ivy
There
gets
was a lot
another
of
kill,
players
gets
over
his
at
ult.
C, so you
Instant
start to
reaction wasn't
toy with the
really
ideas
here.
of
They already had A
rotations,
control.
right?
They
Rotating
opened door
was
crit there.
blocked
Further
over
question
on A
mark.
side. You don't
Now they're
know
going to
if they're in
reclear
tree
this
at the
thinking that
moment.
one person's holding
Cypher
it.
setup is at A, so there is a bit of a change here. Now you're playing towards numbers. If you're Dambi and you see them over at the C site, you kind of fall back. You play with your shotgun. You see if you can get one to keep some favor for your team.
Yeah, you
The fact
saw
that
him.
He has the shotgun as well, but no slides, so
Persia still has a smoke.
bit of a tricky spot to be in, but Talon cutting a lot of noise. At this point, NongShim should have some question marks in their heads, so setting themselves up for a potential C hit.
Just
The
spamming
flash
the
does
Bucky to
deter
try and make
Talon,
them
and that
not go
continues to
here.
burn down the clock.
And Salvo's just used as well, right? So you would
Open
have
the door
get
to
the
create
spike
pressure
plant
from
down here as
B.
Talon to be able
It basically
to
comes down to a
reuse them in the
1v1
round.
here.
So the closest opportunity is going to be Primi around this A site, but it's an outlaw.
Can he duck that?
Trying to, but you're going to have to time this so well. Margaret on the other end. Oh, he's going to buy time instead.
Yep.
Stay alive long enough for the rest of the team to recollect. It's a bit of a 5-on-4 nonetheless. So
Comes a lot down to Ivy getting
see
a
if Talon's
kill.
able to hold.
And remember, those salvos
Just
are gonna
one
come
kill would
online,
snowball
kill
this
the
whole
aftershock
round
as
for
well if he
sure.
wants to reposition to tree, but they opt to go forward first.
Okay, shield popped. Now pushing in. Talon then extends their range. Primi using the outlaw to his advantage.
Okay, very
Kill
nice.
as well to hold the angle. It's just the somewhat of weaker weaponry trying to push their way through. Francis in for the tap, but spotted out by Primi.
Yeah, this is nice though. Nicely handed from Talon. I like the reclear of C once it went aggro.
Can't help but wonder if...
Yeah, this was very close to being scary, right? One kill for Ivy, that kill then would have given them Cypher ult, then he would have been able to ult off the Cypher ult, and then it's like a 2-on-5.
The idea maybe was toyed with for Margaret when the traps did get destroyed.
Or 2-on-4, I guess, when they 1v1.
So a well-navigated round at the end there from the likes of Talon, not deciding to backpedal after the space was found by Primi, right? Just really silently walking up towards A there. And we're going to have a timeout at the 4-4 mark, this time for NongShim. Well, for the first one of this map.
Yeah, still somewhat even, but it is Talon beginning to find, well, shades of red. Both teams do have red logos, but again, being able to maneuver around the map with this Waylay, I mean, it has been quite effective. You have to admit, maybe not so much on Dambi, but with Primi
on the
and
round,
with proper
and
team
plus
protocols
10
around
seconds
this,
into
he has been
post-plant.
somewhat
So the
baiting out
util
utility
delay
around
would be
Rumble,
harder.
back, or
It
even
would end
just
up just
dashing
going
into
the other way
B side,
around.
for example, back on that pistol.
Yeah, a couple of the earlier duels, right, when he's going
That would be the
for
death of
the
EMEA.
by
That's actually
himself
so
and just,
true.
you know, disconnecting.
They're
right?
getting
They're
that
not really
spike down
in. The
average of
value
10
that
seconds
we're
anyway.
sort of seeing is when he's with the team and they're able to flood in behind him, right?
I mean,
Really,
it would be nice for Pacific teams though. They'd be ready for that
What's
meta.
probably going to happen around A.
I don't think
where we're just gonna get a
I don't
big
think Riot
contest
would ever do
around
anything like
or for the fellas
that
out there,
crazy, unless it felt like it was getting really stale and they didn't know any other way of fixing it.
It's just Primi. That's a lot of utility.
Hey, that's a lot of info though,
spent.
so they can insta-react over towards there.
Talon fans out.
With the util that was used, they did fade eye here, so they should know there's a 3-1-3 with just what
so he
happened.
won't have a shield going into it, but remember, if he does get the kill, he'll have a shield coming out of it.
Sure, but still, the bit of a lurk already eliminated. It does alleviate some pressure towards this C site. Margaret, knowing where his opponents are coming in from, pops the cage and then falls back into a safer spot. NongShim looking to retake with numbers.
And he can't play off his trip there either, unfortunately.
It's so good.
Remember, Primi
What
does
do they want to do?
have
Take some space?
So maybe
Tap
they
with
wanna
the
find
spike,
deeper
take some space.
towards it.
Dude, look at
And
NongShim. They're like,
kill
they're gonna do
contract from
something.
Ivy as well would
They're gonna try and do something. They
give
got so much util. They haven't
NongShim
planted
more
yet,
of
or
a
even
numbers
attempted to
advantage,
plant.
All the info, neural theft.
True. Talon looking to extend their reach.
Oh,
What's the plan with the
Now
ult?
being
Or are they
hit
saving
by
the ult?
ISO utility
Oh my
undercut.
god, what a shot.
Primi though, still able to land a nutty shot. But that's the kill contract now coming through.
Ooh, Primi
off
killed
to the other
Margaret
end,
as
still
well,
able
and
to find
Ivy
another
lost the
frag.
jewel.
Deletes
Damn, they
Ivy
gotta
as
save
well.
this.
No longer into that alternate dimension. Now it's just left down to Dambi and Persia.
Dude, Primi did
to
great. Both of these kills
pretty
are
safe.
insanely important.
Ivy not having a good.
This
a
kill
good
off the
day in
jump peak,
office
and
in
then
the,
Margaret
in
was
the ISO there.
flanking, locked him
Unfortunately,
in.
another kill contract that doesn't go his way here.
That's still such a methodical round coming out from Talon off of NongShim's timeout.
I want to see that ridiculous shot that just, you know, a jump peek
Primi?
out.
Killer? No,
and-
he's
and you
doing
just delete
he's
it.
doing bits,
I
man.
certainly hope that we will get
Like he wants to get ulted.
take a look at that during the replays, but still, I mean, the way this entire round was piloted by Talon. First of all, you have Primi just to bait out all that utility, then the rest of the squad. Oh, right there.
Yeah, I wish we could see that from Primi's point of view, if he was already ready for it, because he was strafing towards the corner side of sight, right?
Yeah, it looked like it was fast reaction
By
from
the
him.
way, Talon are going to be able to find the lead
Okay,
here.
lot of money.
I wonder
A
what our
lot
desk
of money.
thinks
That
now.
eco
This is the
round that
first
they
time we
won,
see,
No,
like,
we
a
can't. We
That just
can't
changed
give
everything.
the desk the fuel for the Waylay. We can't do it.
Why not?
I don't know.
Could be good. Could be. It certainly is looking good for now, but I will hold my tongue because the scoreline is still rather
We
close.
were just highlighting why Dambi shouldn't be playing it, right? Because Neon.
Different player.
Yeah, not wrong.
Still though, Rebel control now for
Oops.
NongShim. Margaret has been
Well, look how deep they are in lobby, though.
holding this responsibility to hold down C.
Oh boy, it's
With the
crazy
push
timing
out
on
all of
it.
a sudden now,
They
something that
insta-react
Talon
over
hasn't
towards
quite
C. Do they
anticipated.
re-clear? They like a
They
re-clear
will
at the
feel
moment.
the punch off of that one.
Yeah, and you give the spike to him. You don't want to overstay your welcome when you've got the player advantage. You've also removed smokes now for Talon. You've removed crews as well, so no salvos and drone that you got to contend with.
It's going to be a little bit tougher if you are to retake Rebel, especially with that smoke in their faces.
But Persia is by himself, and they're just going to contact out to him, so he has to hit these shots. Quack.
Nice shot.
He will. It's a clear and concise off angle, simply held. Perhaps if Jit Boys might have bought some attention, especially around B, but unfortunately it wasn't quite there. So now maybe Jit Boys using this slight positioning or time to sneak into the B site.
I don't think Francis saw him whatsoever.
Yeah, not quite, but you've got Primi still.
Okay, now he saw them.
And that's a bit of a tell already. You still got to watch out for where Margaret could be
Top of the
approaching
spike, walk over towards C, Fado, make them speed up.
Running it down into the C site.
Yeah, but they should know, right, in terms of how long it took to hit them.
Not entirely sure.
This Fado really saved them a little bit.
Unfortunately, into his own death. 5 seconds, Primi looking for the stick, and with that
this is
stick
nice. Top of the camera, instant reaction.
NongShim tying up the score.
Yep.
This was nice from NongShim. I didn't mind, you know, the 3v4. I kind of liked that idea
when he tries to re-pull the primary weapon
with the two,
so
because they were like trying to pull the third pass and rotate.
And a wise idea for them to push the lobby as well, right? You're kind of catching Talon a little bit off guard with that aggression.
Yeah. It did get a little bit worrisome at some points, but I do believe NongShim playing the macro game right now.
The post-match conference, Alex said they're battling with their mental demons. I mean, yeah, it's a lot of pressure at the moment. They used to winning as well. Used to winning, getting wrecked.
So that was the call for the rest of the team.
They're changing a lot of stuff.
Talon possibly needing to
they're one of the most
retool
popular
their current
teams,
approach.
so everything they do
well,
is like
already found 5 rounds, right? And that's
under
what
a
they
magnifying
did get
glass of people
against
reacting.
RRQ, though their defensive side was a little bit lackluster. So I am hoping that they've fine-tuned that a little bit more going on the flip. But 2 more rounds to play in this half. Again, we're going to have a bit of rubble contest that NongShim are ultimately going to win. Yeah, and Primi didn't actually use Lightspeed this time.
Yeah, they kind of didn't use any util really to take that.
Post up a line early.
That's something for NongShim to take note of as well. Primi wasn't here, so he's got to be somewhere else, and that refract is still in play. So positioned up towards C, he's trying to find Margaret. Meanwhile, the peek out from NongShim outside of B, though,
dry triple
punished.
Swing.
And then the mid-round to crunch down Francis's position. That's Francis gone, saturated into the C site. Margaret peeking out, unfortunately, to his own death. Persia
there's a lot of dry peeks just in this.
frantically to try to survive. But with that, an open sight onto C.
False sense of security, unfortunately, for NongShim there when Francis throws in the Prowler and it doesn't spot anybody deep enough at the pillars. They try to throw everything at it.
I don't mind the triple swing, to be honest.
It's just a little firm how do you do from Talon that they're ready for.
The thing is, though, I would say I think you should pop the shield when you do it if you have full A control.
If you do remove this gun from Persia,
because they're either here or here.
You're still going to have to see the full rebuy
or
from
here.
No overdrive for Dambi.
So like you what, 66% chance?
Does. He's at the right position technically if you look at the way that Talon are kind of consuming positions around the map.
A big long smoke to try to throw Talon off his scent as well, but now already spotted out. Flesh out of position, thigh. Okay, we'll jump on over. Primi holds the opposite angle, and that will hurt your chances at buying back into the next round.
Well, you got to buy in the next round. It is the last round of the half. It mainly is the difference between what the rest of the team is going to have, right?
Can't buy one up for his teammate.
Can't get one over towards Darby. Wouldn't be surprised if they want to go for a bit more of this A-Rubble control, get the orb, get him one step closer to the overdrive that you might have available if a plant goes down, for example.
We'll see. Before now, again, this Waylay and how much it's able to do, or maybe not even that, just Talon's protocols and how they want to
aggro A, set up the judge close.
Rebel control conceded for now.
Yeah, and Dai's going to commune that over to the team that he saw the convergent wall. So you know that the ISO was around the A site. Don't know
attacking comp for NongShim.
Who has the judge in
yeah, you would imagine.
Now they will with the drone. So you get an idea that both duelists were towards the A site. Where would the Cypher be? Generally wouldn't be at the same site then, so you kind of assume maybe over towards C that he's been
definitely forcing CB.
That's
well,
how Talon can kind of formulate a plan around this, right? Let's avoid the duelist.
No, the half check.
Site.
Okay, the trade came in though, and honestly, an omen for a Cypher. I find it so weird that NongShim here, once they'd set the judge up, like tried to push with the judge for two. Like if you look at the jewels that you're gonna get, especially once you've cleared here, never gonna come out on top.
Rolling Thunder now sent out by Cruz, or not Cruz, but still. The entire
Yeah, definitely
site,
some questionable
everyone collapsed
decisions
on
from
into
both
it.
teams in this
Yep,
one.
7-5 half.
Looked like Talon did incredibly well to get 7, especially after losing a pistol.
In the later stages, right? 4-1 at the very beginning.
That eco round changed so much, so much.
The right idea to play with a lot of the rotations, to kind of play a little bit more patiently for Talon, and expect that NongShim are going to be playing a little bit more towards this A extremity as well, right? Really trying to press the issue, get forward, finding some good space for the rotation.
There's an NRG. There's an NRG fan that you cooked.
I know I highlighted a little bit before. Last time on Lotus.
A little bit but
lackluster
it's
for
probably not
Talon.
as bad
So
as you
you're
think.
expecting maybe with this slight change up
Or
in
as
their
bad as the
comp,
G2
that
score line made it look, but
maybe expecting
pretty
this
bad.
map of Lotus to come out in towards this veto.
Who do they have to play?
100% sure, because had seen NongShim picking up in towards Split, for example.
MIBR and Lev.
Dan,
Oh, they
very
got to beat
least, but still.
MIBR. Yeah, it's pretty cooked.
Trying to see how this composition currently will play out for the team. On the defense,
They beat
kill
Lev.
contract hasn't quite.
If they beat Lev and Fury, it
landed
doesn't
impactfully.
get a win.
Yeah, Ivy on the ISO was definitely
And
not on
Lev
my
doesn't
bingo
get a
board
win.
today, gonna say. But again,
First ISO
we've already had
there.
some
Lev
shaky
Fury,
ISO
yeah.
play today too, right? And we've seen
Yeah, honestly,
in recent history,
not as bad as
at
I
least the
thought.
ISOs be a bit hit and miss. So you know, maybe it's something new for them.
Not if
maybe
you're
it's
T1.
not.
they just need Lev and Fury
I
to
think
not
they're just an
upset anyone.
exception, though. Really, let's be real. Let's see what he can do though. You know,
But they're
new
also
style
going to
for
playoffs
NongShim
in
on this
lower
attacking
bracket.
side. Ivy and
So
Darby,
fourth
bit
isn't like
struggle.
a...
It was a bit
Fourth
of a
isn't
question
great.
mark for our desk. It's a bit of a question mark for us as well, but
Yeah.
we'll see how this double duelist fares out
3-0.
on the
Let's see if
attacking
Talon
side
can
for
actually win a
NongShim.
I'd
pistol.
actually really like to know, like, when Ivy played the Rainer and the Jet that he has dived in towards before. Like, how long ago was this?
Gonna have to
With
dig.
what roster? You know, I got to dig deep.
For that one, for sure, but at least for now, a lot of noise made outside C-Mount.
But how are you going to go with it? That's the thing right now. Differences in terms of our initiators, where Cruz gets that drone up through mid, different than the Prowler that Francis was throwing. And you're already seeing a big rotation from Talon towards this C site.
Yeah, someone getting the read for it, but this is when Margaret goes in for that lurk once again.
Yep.
Ooh, early flash.
Heavy over
Very
rotate from
proficient in
Talon.
his lurks, but does he expect Cruz to be on this slight little off angle? Good reposition.
Spotted. He swings
Dude.
for it as well. That does hurt.
Why do I
for
see so many
sure.
duels with
Margaret
people looking
feeling the pain
unconfident
from
today?
that one. And then the salvos to flash out those footsteps closer in towards A main. So Talon ready to strike. Unfortunately, not quite as swift and precise as they needed it to be.
Needs to make sure he doesn't refactor to that spot.
Yeah, so that's going to be NongShim able to get the spike down into A. How will they play it, though?
Look at Francis and Cruz.
As well as Dabby
just the
continue to
dig.
push further up front. Cruz, though,
Yeah, Dammy's
on a
going to
bit
get
of a
caught
tear
out
in
here.
this pistol. Dabby feeling the pressure,
Oh my
needing
god,
to
he got
push on
2
out. Will
before
be
he
able to
got
find a
caught
double.
out.
Is it enough for his team, though?
It might be enough.
2 on 3. Cruz
Purge
is
still has an
relatively
Omen
low,
flash.
and Ivy is, well,
In no man's land.
somewhat sussed out. Have an idea of where he
Dude,
is.
Purge
And he does
could
have that double
flash
tap
for
as
him.
well.
That's a
Meanwhile,
nice tap to the
Purge is
spike.
being hidden,
Oh,
but
that was nice.
the wrong
This is all
timing
good.
for it. Jit Boys will be able to
Ooh,
strike
they
him
played
in
this
the back.
really good.
Cruz then to clean things up. Talon picking up the pistol.
Yeah,
As soon as they
they're
see
gonna
this
find
one
their
here,
first
the
one of this
straight up
series as
pressure
well,
of the
and I gotta
spike, and
say,
obviously they
all
can
of
kind of
those
look at the
duels
spike
for
and go,
NongShim,
well, we got the
they're
best
essentially
position for the
individual,
after plant
right?
here.
Very
Like
disconnected.
as soon as we got this
how they're playing
control,
those
they then
pistols.
have
I
to
mean,
make a
you get
move.
the idea that you want to try and see Danby push up in towards the spawn.
1-3, 1-1 for the
towards
pistols
team,
here.
But apart from that one, you know, Ivy is not playing an agent that can really have some great impact on towards the post plant when he's all the way at the rubble. You know, he has to run in, especially with Persia losing his life. A little bit questionable in that sort of scenario. You know, if he finds the right little lurk timing in there, okay, sure, but it's not going to
Danby
be
buys the
reliable.
hero Bucky.
Yeah, it's not so much
And
of a
Primi.
post-plant agent, more of a slightly initiating duelist kind of agent. So you need to be pushing up front, especially alongside Danby. I gotta imagine that's what it is. But still, right now with a bit of a slight half, you got Danby on the Bucky, and he's just non-stop assaulting himself forward. Takes down Jit Boys.
That's so silly,
That's
man.
already a bit of a frag. Spike down as well.
Only Danby would
Like
do
firing
that.
off
Now
warning
they
shots
clear
the whole
towards
time.
halls as well, and they pilfer a gun.
Outlaw whiffed.
Oh,
Danby
God.
seizes
Oh,
the
God.
opportunity to slide further in.
This gun is
Triple
too
bounce,
strong,
trying
man.
to shut him down.
He's bringing back the
But
Neon
reeling from
Bucky.
the losses.
It's going for another clip.
Trades found by Francis now.
And they know Cruz is here because he just opened the rotating door.
God, he's
The
so
camera's
good with
just
it,
gonna
though.
Catch him smiling.
And he's going to have to save.
Yep. Unfortunate. What a round.
5
from NongShim.
HP, got 2.
What a...
It's just Dubby. Well, I mean...
What a NongShim round. Honestly, only
Yeah,
Dambi
dude, it
would
turns
do
into
it.
such a scary round when this guy has a Bucky.
It took him a couple of shots.
Waylay can't do that.
That's true.
Waylay cannot do something like that.
You know, Big Time kind of talked about it. It just looks natural for Dambi to be
100%.
on the Neon. Yes, but I do wonder, you know, what's going to be that natural look then for the likes of Primi and the rest of that Talon squad.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a lot of growth for Talon as well, right? Incorporating the 2 new players from the Challengers circuit and how they're going to look. You know, Primi still relatively young in this roster as well, right? So you really do have a lot of newcomers coming in towards Talon that
is
that Cruz
it's a great
has a lot of
round.
responsibility.
Gotta start looking at the money now. This might get pretty close.
So far, able to...
Margaret now gets the Outlaw.
live up to that
Can
mantle,
one-shot 4 out of 5.
As the rounds continue playing out, we'll see.
8-eye round the corner as well to try combo it.
Economy not quite favoring Talon for now.
Big
They
trap.
do have that 4-1 on towards the A site.
Big trap if they hear an orb tap or any footsteps around the rotate door. There's info that a breach has been spotted.
Jiggles as well, Prowler now. Camera from Jit Boys, though, still seeing that nothing much towards the C site. Until...
These are the sort of situations for Talon as well, right? That you're kind of really hoping they come towards this A side, or if not, they're going to have some significant time to set themselves up around C. You are waiting, as you mentioned, for this camera, right?
Yeah, it's a nice call from NongShim. It's a nice call from NongShim. Talon kind of worked it out kind of early. They got to rotate
as well.
on the go.
Maybe not quite the
If they can get
guns,
this good plant, then it's a done rounds, but...
Spike going out around stairs. NongShim fanning out.
Okay, with this plant,
Primi
don't think they need to, like, they create fake pressure. I don't think they need to go and take it too much.
But Margaret not allowing for Talon to do that.
Nah.
Waterfall, you're trying to regress in with the paranoia, and it does work out for now.
I was worried about this. Especially with this good plant, they don't really need to do that. Nice damage from Talon.
As I said, it needed to be Primi with that Guardian to get something happening, but unfortunately just not able to stand and deliver there. So NongShim, they will find the 2 rounds. They will knock on the door of Talon. We're finally going to have some weaponry to see what they can do on this defensive side.
Still kind of making it somewhat doable. Yeah. Some of these kills, you gotta imagine he's close to his ult as well, but I do wonder how effective that could be on a retake.
Going to favor the 1-4 setup yet again because they didn't show it in the previous round.
Well, back in towards that Rebel contest. Oh, and it's just Talon not
To get
slowing
Lotus shut down with them from the
Pushing on through, the
salvos.
shield's been
You only have to
cracked.
worry about 1 point.
Killa in for the kills, and now
Ooh, dude, 11 HP
somewhat
on
of a
this.
loss for NongShim.
Yeah.
3 players are gone off the wayside.
Primi.
Cruz as well jiggling, might have spotted out by the minimap.
Oh, Margaret, though, he's going to run into the potential trap wire as well.
I mean,
Destroy
Margaret
that
had
one.
to do this though.
He
Margaret
needs
had to take
buy
some space.
Enough time.
Okay,
Should
instant
get
reaction.
over
Cruz
here.
breaks the trip
You should know
behind.
Killa was low,
But they
but
got to
sprayed
speed
the
up, and now
sword
they have no
earlier
map
on.
control, so
But in a 2
Margaret
versus
needs
3
to
here, Quack, when you got to consider that there's fault line flashes,
make a decision.
salvos that eventually come online.
like this from
Oh,
Cruz.
now, in fact,
Opens the
trying to
door,
create
creates
some fake
pressure
presence
behind,
around
but
the
they can
door
just
as
clear this.
well.
They can camera clear this and then now
Salvos
hold it.
fault line, you have a
Omen
lot
ult, like he might have gone behind them,
at
so they
your
might speed up over
disposal.
towards site.
Yes. Baited with the from the shadows on Persia. So still trying to keep himself positioned around. Cage out from Jit Boys, and they're looking to push out of it. There it is. Margaret, though, off to the other end. Bit of a trade down to just kill a
I just like this round in general, it's
on
nice.
those heads. And
Very-
Talon up to 8, well 9.
Very close to being taken out as well, and then that situation wouldn't have been possible, right? So a little bit unfortunate, but a really nice idea on when you open that rotating door over at the A site from Die to take.
Could have been close, yeah, it could have been really, really close. I do think
shield
they got the
of
good
Ivy,
plant
and the
right.
rest
I
of
do
your
think they
team
probably
kind of
should
approaches
have
the
double
scenario
gone
and wins it out
mount.
as well. Happy enough to
But-
play retake.
Just a bit of the micro as well with how Thigh is able to peek off of one end. You've got Killa around the back. Killa, who, by the
Like,
way, off of that
I think if the Omen is down, you can just go here. Especially if they re-cleared it. They kind of won the battle of pressure.
More towards the A site.
And that could be a potential.
They planted mid side. It was like here,
retake
right?
or way to push
here?
NongShim away.
Somewhere around this box. They definitely can see it from Mound. Yeah, I think it would have.
NongShim,
I think they would have won the round, to be
got
honest.
noise.
Let's see what information now is Talon that you can find. You conceded a lot towards A, finding a little late lurk in Darby.
Lose A control,
To the front of B
instant
as well,
drawn to see if they are trying to split over towards B. And at the moment, I'm looking at Talon. They got no map control. They got no map control at all. They're trying to clear question marks that are on A right now as they're getting C hit.
The ultimate idea is getting towards this C site. Forced the only soldier back in Primi. Good saturate.
An attempt at from the shadows from Thai as well, so
Jesus, Jesus.
especially in with the utility.
Oh my goodness, there's so much going on. Holy hell, the breach of
shut that down. Now here comes
yeah,
further
dude,
utility.
it's nuts.
Rolling
It
Thunder
was
sent out,
fade
Talon
ult for the
looks to swarm the site.
Waylay ult.
Killua especially finding a lot of these sight lines now just down to Francis. We'll find one with that last bullet
Util
from
on
the
this one,
magazine,
really
but
nuts.
cleans
Killua's
things up
stun
quickly
was
for
incredible,
Talon to reach a 10.
and
Yeah, some,
oh no, it was the breach ult.
unfortunate
Okay,
timing there
Killua's
for
util was
Zambi
incredible.
As well, trying to push back in towards the holes, trying to find the space, right? Trying to find the kills as well, but just stunned up. So that's quite unfortunate for him in that situation when he pulls out the overdrive, and even Ivy caught out repositioning back towards the site. So a couple of moments where these NongShim members, they're caught off guard just a little bit.
Even the flash at the end here.
Situation where there's no trades available, but I flip it on over towards Talon. And they're
Yeah,
forcing a timeout
did a
here
whole
from
set
NongShim,
of
right?
good
They're
util
really starting to
into
play
this.
with the rotations, play with the numbers, recognizing their own successes. And if I'm Talon right now, I'm kind of thinking to myself, let's just play post plants. All right, we're finding these members caught a little bit off guard in the timing. So if we're getting quick post plants where we figure out where they're going to be landing, it's not bad so far.
Yeah, especially if they're able to read a lot of NongShim's intentions, Primi, and that little duel back there. Still though,
What the hell's going, man?
out of this
All I see is
timeout,
Saint
what could
type
NongShim
Yo,
be
you couldn't
looking
beat an
for?
egg.
Again, you've got the double duelists,
get
haven't quite been
banned.
able to make it work as fruitful as they wanted it to. Rubble control has been contested before.
That's actually a sick ban though,
We've
fair
got
play.
a lot of the B and C sites being locked down by the likes of Cruz, maybe Jit Boys at times. And Primi, who still can do so much, especially with that refract at
Okay,
hand.
always scary when they get the judge out, and this is just a straight up
on his ult as well.
buy.
Well,
Do you
let's go
think,
back
honestly,
towards
with
the A
how
side, where I think
NongShim
it's
play,
definitely gonna
the
be
Bucky might
wrapped
even
up
be
by
better than the
Cruz.
judge
Ivy
with
Does have the Armageddon
style.
available. I want to.
But
Yeah, that's one of the things I am interested.
probably
for
the
with
money
complex
diff that
talents,
kind of
right? Convergent pass,
owns you a
Armageddon
little bit.
combos.
Ivy has ult, so they can definitely like ult and then capitalize
Well,
off
for
of
now,
it.
though, at least they're on opposite ends of the map, and it's
Oh,
just
we can do
Dabby
that.
sliding in.
But
Quick traded.
And this team isn't able to, reiterate back immediately.
I think,
They've gained rubble
like here,
control.
does Ivy not
They've
need
lost
to have his
their
ult
speedway
out
into
and
the site.
then
You can go at it a little bit slower with
ult
the
off the
prowlers
info,
and with
maybe?
Ivy as well, if he wants
I
to
don't-
pull someone in towards the Gulag.
I have to imagine that's
they go crazy
kind of how you
overwhelmed?
would want to masterfully make use of this. Right?
Look at
Buy
the
some
timing on
time
that, by
away
the
from
way.
some of the opponents.
They perfectly walked through the
Take
smoke.
Primi away, possibly. Still though,
Ooh,
that's gonna
Ty
be
got
the
caught off, but still won the duel.
Waylay ult somewhere, and at the same time, Thai now trying to hold them off.
Yeah, they need to get in towards the site though, because it was a 4 versus 4, and they've got the site control, but they're looking a little bit deeper for it.
That's time
Don't do it.
away. Numbers dwindling as well.
Don't
for
do
NongShim,
it.
So kill contract might
Oh,
be
he really wants to do
working
it.
against them right now if they use it in a bad spot. But still, with the spike down, trying to reposition up around tree. Primi taking that duel out towards baby door. NongShim beginning to run out of options. Ivy trying to jiggle, especially with the double
Big
tap
double
shield.
damage shield.
He's blinded as well.
You got shield,
Sends
you can
out
take some
the
control.
undercut. Just a delay. Unfortunately, not quite able to hold down Tree any further. It's just Francis who
I do
has to
think-
turn towards the
I
back,
don't
and
know.
Thigh
I know
will
Talon
find that
won-
frag.
I
off
just think
an
it looked better
elevated
on this
angle.
map,
Talon
really.
moving forward into an 11.
I'm watching
NongShim are
Ty
really
and
trying
I'm
to
watching
press a little
Killua.
bit
They
deeper
look
to find some advantages.
kind of comfy on this
I
map.
love the fact that Primi is really keeping Francis in check outside the baby door. I mean, I saw the convergent paths, and he's kind of
Just
dancing
the-
around
just
it,
the
right?
util's
Throws out
been
saturated,
great.
Actually caught Francis, but he's not going too far forward, right? He's not overplaying his own hand. He's stalling for time for his team to get over here, and he's winning these
Why do they
duels,
not
and
pick this map?
ultimately,
I
Ivy
imagine
is
Prax were
not
going good on
having
Haven.
success on this ISO at the moment. It feels like as soon as Danby is kind of removed from the equation, NongShim crumbling a little bit to try and reclaim some space, reclaim some advantage positions.
Oh yes. Talon being able to play this sort of
The attack
close
Bucky.
plant game. Primi and Cruz leading with the kill feed, but still,
Dude, he keeps playing his own little 1v1 game. I mean, he keeps getting
Team
one.
not quite there to follow up, though.
Oh, but we're gonna get the
Dude, this is what should have happened last round when they had the
time?
guns.
The one that he did take away is Thigh, though, so now
Okay,
able
and
to find
then
that one right back into
yeah,
it.
with
Just
your
kill on the
team,
site. Primi up
heavy
towards the top
overwhelm,
heaven.
tunnel
Spots him
vision.
with a crosshair placement, though. Saturate lands square at IB
Very
speed.
nice
That's the
from Primi on
triple
this.
found in the
Yeah,
round.
they should have done
And just
exactly what they
Margaret
did
left.
here, just the round
He
before
might have
with guns.
snuck up in towards the B site, but the spike's down on the
And
ground.
it's like they realized they didn't have the guns when they
Very
fought
difficult
site.
situation for him to try and win a 1 versus 3 from, especially now that that door's closed.
Oh.
Here he's to re-navigate around the site, and eventually, you know,
There's
as Talon, you make a decision here. You look towards the choke of the A lobby,
and that's just a clear thing to do.
or if he gets in towards the site and he picks up the spike, well, we're just playing it as a 1 versus 3. You know, we should be winning those 100% of the time.
That. You got the
Map
fault
3
line,
then?
you
Looking
got
like
the
it.
saturate still. Is that the refract? No, that's a refract.
You're also not playing positions as Talon right now, where Margaret can really find a 1 versus 1. They're all collected together. It's really nice, like crossfire triangulation
where they
around
can
Rubble
regroup
there.
as well.
And now it's map point.
5
Talon looking to
chances.
potentially trade each other's maps here. And we do get another look at potentially Fracture, where we know Vic wants it because it's going soon.
I feel like
content,
Vic's
yeah,
not alone.
but
Come on.
I need
like
to
something.
check the sponsor conflict to have the ads on my screen.
I thought
I'm
you
still
were
waiting.
gonna. All right. Well, we'll see how it all goes when that map does come back in. But for now, at the very least, Talon looking miles ahead with how they were playing as
How's
compared to
Talon's
before on
Fracture?
Haven, especially with the waylay into
I
play.
don't think we've seen it with the new
Back in
new
towards
guys.
that Rebel control once again.
Not
and you've got
100%.
Paranoia and everything sent out just to
Oh
try
my
to
goodness,
deal
where
with
are
what
we?
Dambi might be trying to pull off.
Yeah.
He's been doing it for the past 2 rounds now. This time,
I mean,
wrench thrown into the plans.
definition of insanity, trying the
They
same
have
thing
the
over
best
and over
Fracture in
again
APAC.
and expecting a different result, right? This time in a game of Valorant, I
They
mean,
played
there's
Team
kinda-
Secret and beat him 13-2.
defeats that.
Oh, okay.
It's plausible.
You got 4 players this time.
Wait, is that the game where
Trip up
Envy
towards
actually
Killers as
still
well,
kind
though,
of
and
fragged him pretty heavy,
intentionally
but
bringing
they
it.
got
Talon
wrecked?
Trying to pull NongShim away.
Wait, that wasn't with the 2 new guys though, right?
Camera still around C.
Now it's just about these timing rotations again. Talon have been very successful in repositioning at these
It
later
was?
stages of
Did
the
they
rounds
just
to
join?
the right
Oh
spot.
yeah, it was because we had the Pearl whiff. Oh god, yeah, that Pearl Wild Oreo whiff. Blunt in my
now
head,
it's gonna be
you're right.
towards this C site that Jip Boys is going to be dispatched of, so it's going to be the opening frag for NongShim in the post plants.
And Chip Boys tried to play sneaky beaky. Still though,
Okay, I would love to see Cruz
how do
not
you
use his
go
ult
back
here
to
unless they
decide
kill
where
Danby
can these
overextending.
NongShim players be? Certainly thinking about Mound. But Danby hiding inside of the smoke, that's something that they might not quite anticipate. And Danby will spring. Out for 1 against Primi. Now to hold the angle passively.
How's this guy have to do this in 5
Will
HP?
be able to collect onto a
Oh my
second.
god.
Killer for
He
the
did
trade.
so much.
And you also have Margaret for the flank. Off a timing
This
as
time they're
well.
playing
Does
like
Talon read
heavier
this?
offsite
Not
as well.
quite. Francis able to hold. Killa able to flick as well.
So
but
I will
the
give it to
round,
NongShim.
nonetheless,
Like
will
I can
head on
see
over
them
to NongShim.
learning
Yeah,
as they
a
go.
little bit unfortunate for
Right, we saw a
Primi in
couple of
that
rounds where I
duel,
felt like they would have won if
definitely
they
been the one
gone
that
off site here, especially once they
closed
killed the
things around the
Omen.
C-side and made it
We
a
saw
little
that
bit more
round with the
claustrophobic
Judge where they
NongShim
went out
and have to
towards here, and then if
towards
they had
the side.
Omen, sorry, if they had
The
ISO
gun
ulted, they
roll
would have
is
killed
what
this
betrayed
guy and won the
them
round. But then they did it the
unfortunately,
next round with
but
the
heads up
Bucky.
for NongShim,
They
able
are
to find the right timing to
they are
dispatch
proving
Jip
that they're
Boys in the
fast
site and
learners,
then lock
which
it
is a
down,
good
which we
sign.
haven't really
And they're
seen
learning on
them
the fly.
able to do just yet, right? We've seen,
Or like
you know, on
without
this
a
defensive
VOD review.
side, good positions, good shots coming out from Talon, good work from Primi a lot of the time.
And a bit of that mental conditioning from
But
NongShim in towards the A side.
It's just the fact that the mistakes have to happen
And they're
for
looking
them
to
to
do the same
learn.
thing again.
Yeah, the 1-4 setup. Once again, all the utility raining around.
Look at that from Primi.
Dude, he just
finds
gets-
Dambi in towards
he just
the back.
gets sent
Killa
in.
with additional support.
He just
Everyone
gets
all collapsing into this one
absolutely sent
position
in.
where now the armor gonna get sent through. Margaret, if you are him, you're just wondering what just happened. My teammates are all gone.
Oh
I'm
my
getting
god.
hit, I'm getting
He just
Valoranted,
accepts it, puts the
and
knife
Killa
out.
finds the
Okay, nicely
final
done from
frag to
Talon. They
bring
look
that
good on this
scoreline
map.
down to a 13-8.
There was like 2 rounds that I didn't really like from
we are
the
trading each other's maps here. We do get
from the
third
waylay,
in this
but then everyone
series.
started
Think
like
Fracture
following it
are
up
gonna
with
get it.
numbers,
People
and it
want to
actually
see
started
good
looking pretty
waylay
good.
play. I will admit it.